Carlson. She's going to introduce our first presenter.
Hi, welcome. Like Lori said, I have the distinct honor of introducing my clients. I'm a business advisor here with the Northwest Indiana Small Business Development Center. I've been here since like late March, working with minority entrepreneurs, so we're so excited. So Lewis Shine we've been working together for about a month, or a little bit over a month. Comes with a lot of go-getter spunk. He's going to share with you his organization and what he plans to do. So let's give it up for Lewis and ask questions afterwards because he's well prepared to answer your questions.
Thank you. Where's my clock?
Where's the hook?
Your clock. Your clock?
Yeah.
All right, we good to go? You good to go. All right, how's everybody doing this morning?
Right.
All right, my name is Lewis Shine, and I am talking today about the Professional Hoops Association. I have a very extensive background in the game of basketball, namely professional sports. So just a couple things about myself before I dive into it. I played college basketball in Miami, Ohio. Shortly after that, I was a professional basketball player. And then I also had an opportunity to play not only pros, but I coached in the pros as a head coach. I was also an assistant coach in the pros, and I was also a PR and marketing director. That's kind of how I got started. So I loved it so much that I had an opportunity to own my own team. So not only was I a 3-year owner of a pro basketball team, but I was also a 4-year general manager, which general manager role, you are over everything. You are the bottom line, and you have to make things happen. And if they don't happen, then you're the one that everybody comes to. So I had a lot of opportunity within that role to just learn the basics of the business of owning a basketball team. And so after that, I sold my team in 2016, went into college sports where I was a head coach and an associate head coach. And so I had an opportunity to learn the college game. So shortly after that, 2019, me and my wife moved back to Northwest Indiana, which we're both from the Chicagoland area, and then the pandemic happened. So kind of cut things short. But what I'm going to talk to you about today is more of a 3-year process. The pandemic kind of stopped the process, but I kind of still worked. So after the pandemic, that's when I began to pick this idea of what I'm going to share about today. So just to jump back to a professional team that I own, these are just some of the highlights of some of the things that I've done. My thing is community. And so when I look at having a professional basketball team, it's not just about me and the money I can make, and just about basketball itself. I like to use it and have used it in the past for things such as youth camps, school visits, families. With our family there, as you see, it was a great story because we had an opportunity to take a family that's working class, 3 girls, a wife, couldn't really afford tickets, and because we pride ourselves on family-friendly entertainment, we were able to bless them with free tickets for the season. So we were able to get into the community and do things such as that, as well as with basketball players, which I was an underdog. I was a college walk-on, but still had the opportunity to play pro basketball. So I like to help guys that find themselves in that situation. And fun and entertainment. So these are actually some pictures from the team I used to have. We love fun and entertainment, touching the community, seeing people come and laugh, have a great time, all for a affordable price. And so with starting the Professional Hoops Association, we like to impact lives of young men who aspire to play basketball professionally. Everybody can't make it to the NBA, but to be able to have a viable option below that where they can transition their way to that next role is something that I enjoy doing, and over the time we have helped some in the upwards of 20 to 25 people transition from playing for us to another level. Some are still playing overseas ball, making 6 figures. So the next one is touching lives of each citizen in the community. So we like to touch the lives of the families and people that may never have an opportunity to go to an NBA game, or maybe not have the money or the means to travel to a game, but they can have entertainment through professional sports and professional athletes right in their community at a affordable price. And the last one, to help each city build to be the best that they can be. So we know in some cities there are different issues, different problems, whether it's crime, whether it's poverty, whether there's just goals that the local government, they're looking to achieve. And we like to be a part of that and come alongside and do what we can as a sports organization to bring them people together and to lend our hand. All right, and so with the professional league, there's 6 cities that we're starting in. Our main city is going to be Hammond, Indiana, right here in Northwest Indiana, which is where our headquarters will be. And then there's a few other cities in 4 states: Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. So we'll revisit that once we ask questions. And so the Hammond Civic Center is where we will have our team here in Northwest Indiana. And I'm very excited about it. Already been in talks with them and everything like that. So we're on our way to getting things going. So the Professional Hoops Association, we're excited to get started. Yes.
How will you go about recruiting, and is there criteria? What is the process for young men, or is it young men and women, or just young men?
It's just young men. This is,
Okay.
I mean, I coach women in high school, college basketball, I coach women, so I do have a heart to help them, and I still help them to make the transition to get pro jobs. But just getting started, with having experience in the men's league and playing pro on the men's side, of course, that's where I'm starting.
Okay.
Currently,
So how will you go about recruiting those young men?
Yeah, so what we do is we look at college graduates. So we look at all levels. The NBA and the higher leagues, they tend to look at a lot of the Division I's and some of the Division II, Division III, but there's players that play at every level, NAIA, there's leagues out there, NCCAA. There's a lot of different college levels. And so I like to look at the underdog. So those guys that may not get looked at because they're playing at a certain level, because I was that guy, I can see those type of guys a mile away. So I'll give a guy that's at a lower level a shot because he can play, but just doesn't have the exposure. So that's how we'll recruit them and draft them out of college. And then they'll play and they'll get the opportunity to move up to the next level. Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, yes sir.
Do you know when the first season will be, or when you're
May
trying to launch it?
2024,
Okay.
last weekend of May.
So it's gonna kind of be opposite of the NBA schedule.
Yes, we kind of did that on purpose. There were a couple of
Yeah.
reasons we did it that way. We didn't want to compete with that time because there's it's the NBA, but we wanted to give an opportunity where it's summertime, there's not a lot going on and there's not a lot of competition, but also a lot of the venues that we will be playing in, they're all arenas in bigger venues, and during the winter months, they have hockey. And so for us, it was challenging to find a schedule that could fit with the ice flips and the court flips, and it was a lot. So this time actually worked out because there's not a lot going on in those arenas.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Hi Louis, I'm Julia.
Hello.
I'm business advisor here. It was a great presentation,
Yes,
so
thank you.
hats off to you on that. One thing that I have a question and then I have a comment. I'd like to know a little bit more as you move forward with these presentations to hear a little bit more about your background and engagement with hoops and
Yes.
a little bit more of your story and passion for it.
Yes.
I can feel it, but I'd like to know a few more details. So just that was a small comment, but then also, can you talk a little bit more about your revenue streams? Obviously, there'll be ticket sales and local businesses helping to underwrite, but how are you tackling the large upfront costs of
Yes.
startup costs?
So I'll kind of backtrack to give you a snapshot of my past team, and that'll kind of, I'll lead up to the current. So last team, there was a personal investment,
Okay.
but a lot of the costs we took on, had to do with sponsorship. So we really hit the sponsorship market hard. I've never been a fan of debt.
Yeah.
So I stayed away from that. So didn't go get any loans and things like that. So I did it more the untraditional way. But we had revenue streams such as your sponsorship, your ticket sales. You have your merchandise. We were actually able to keep concessions. So concessions, believe it or not, makes a lot of money.
Okay.
And then you have things such as 50-50. We had parking revenue. We had donations, of course. So there's several different revenue streams that we really depend on, but a lot of it comes from partnerships. A lot of it comes from ticket sales. So
Okay.
we depend on that heavily. There are some outside opportunities where we can pull on the investments, but we're really trying to tackle it the untraditional way
Mhm.
before we, sometimes digging out a deck can be challenging.
Yeah.
So if we can avoid that, we want to.
Great.
You plan on starting in May of 2024?
Yes.
Are all the teams in place? You mentioned you have, I think, 6 cities, 6
Yes.
teams. All of those teams being organized right now in order for you to start? And-
Yeah, 6 cities are, we're confirmed for 6 cities. So the 6 cities that I showed here, these cities are confirmed. Of course, we have a layout and have done research to where we want to grow to 20 markets. But that's just if we grow that far, I'm very satisfied if we hit the 10 market and we have 10 franchises that are solid and financially viable. But we've done our research for 20 markets, but these are confirmed, and these are what we're looking to get started in May 2024. Let's go here.
On a sub-level, you're big in the community, and Mayor Hammond, as the mother of a 38-year-old disability man, there's not a lot of opportunities out here for them. Have you considered doing a like there's that movie with Woody Harrelson, and I just love that, where those guys get to come together, and they look forward to it, so have you considered something like that?
Well, what we've done in the past is we've done things, during our games, during halftime, to where we have people that are disabled and aren't able to do things that others are able to. We've allowed opportunities to do, like we've had like a wheelchair basketball at halftime. We've reached out to like the nursing homes, and a lot of times they have like they have a sector where they have to do community events and things like that, so we would have them at our games and things of that nature. So those are some of the things that I've done. I do want to remain open for opportunities where we can participate in them doing different things like that. I hope.
A league or something like that, where it's a returnable,
Yeah, we.
like once a week, kind of a social time.
Yeah, that may be something that we may implement in terms of doing something in collaboration with our team, once or twice a year or whatnot. But we try to make room so that we can include them as well.
Okay.
So those are things that we still have to kind of discuss. But I hope that answers your question a little bit. Let's go with here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My name is Frankie Harris. Good morning, everyone. Hello, Mr. Lewis. My question is, are you thinking about actually starting a sports team, a basketball team on a college level? I know you're looking for college graduates, but actually in a college like Ivy Tech Community College, are you looking to start a team there in the college on that level?
No, ma'am. This will actually be professional, so this will be after college. I'm not even sure what it would take to start a college team.
Okay.
Probably a lot, but I want to offer a place where those college graduates that have played at the college level can have an opportunity to showcase their talent at a pro level that could help some have an opportunity to be seen by the NBA in the higher levels overseas and domestically.
Okay.
Does that answer your question? Yes, ma'am. Let's go back here.
Question about the teams and how it's structured. Are all 6 of those teams gonna be like independently owned, or does the association control all 6 of them? How is that? I don't know a lot about how the professional basketball, beyond the NBA, how that works. Are those like franchises or individual owners for the 6, or is the association kind of the owner of all of those?
Yes, so the ownership will be maintained by the association.
Okay.
2 examples of leagues that run similar are the MLS, Major League Soccer. So the league maintains ownership of all the teams, and then the owner-operators, they come under it, and they get a stake in the league and permissions from the league to run the teams.
Okay.
So that's how it's set up. The XFL, they also operate like that. When you come to the NBA, those are 32 individual businesses that have to fall under league governorship.
Yeah, that's why, I guess that was kind of what I was getting at, is whether the association was gonna be the overall like governing body, but you had individual owners for each team, so to speak. But
Yes,
okay.
And I'll say this too, one of the reasons that I want to do that is because we're a pro league, but when you're talking NBA, anything under the NBA gets thrown in the category of minor. But it will be a pro league, players will get paid, coaches will get paid, the whole nine. But for me, it's very important to maintain that league governorship, because there's things that for me are important, like being in the community, touching lives, helping to transform cities and things of that nature. And I don't want that to be lost. That's one of my main reasons for doing it. And it's just a passion of mine to make sure those things are held tightly.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to I mean, you have a certain product that you wanna
Yes.
project, and if you let all 6 of them kind of
Yeah.
run the way they want to, who knows how that will turn out. So I think it's an exciting idea. I mean, I'm executive director of the Highland Griffith Chamber of Commerce, and we recently had a minor league baseball team that came to Griffith this past season, and so we're trying to do some things with sports marketing and things like that. So I mean, getting another sports attraction in the area is a great idea.
Yes, sir. We'd love to connect with you on that too. That's awesome.
Definitely.
Yes, ma'am.
In addition to, of course, obviously the funding, is there anything else that you feel that you need that would really make a difference and like make everything just take off in the direction that you want?
Yeah, funding is always beautiful. You know, that's the engine that makes it go. As far as vision and just passion to do it, I have that, you know, but, you know, sometimes your vision can only run as far as what's being funded, you know. So, you know, looking for partners as we speak that will help us in that direction. But not only, you know, helping us, but we want to be able to bring value to partners as well. So just looking at what we can do for businesses and to be able to start that long-term relationship. We're looking for those people right now. So
One more question.
yes.
And is there anyone on your board that has an association like with the NBA or that make a support with funding?
There
or
are
advice?
there are a few people that there's a couple that will be on my board, my advisory board, that one currently is in the NBA. There's a few people that won't be able to be named because they have an affiliation, but there are some people that have worked in the NBA. So I really wanted to get that, you know, for lack of better words, experience, just so that can help advise me the right way. Because we're looking, you see the XFL, they have a relationship with the NFL. So we want to be able to have a relationship because we want to be that bridge for guys that didn't get looked at to begin with. So those people will be key. So we do have some of those people. Yeah. Yes.
Have you considered so I'm sure you're familiar with like the Overtime Elite, right? And they basically have that bridge between college, but the kids don't go to college, right?
Yes.
They can start at 16, but they get a minimum like $100,000 a year. It's supported by superstars like Drake, things like that, right? They provide funding, and they're getting drafted into the NBA, right? So like the Thompson brothers got drafted this past year. Something like that, if you were to get actually players from your league drafted into the NBA, I think that would set you on a trajectory that would boost your business way beyond the 4 states, right?
Yes.
Would you be open to collaborating with players or teams like OTE, the Overtime Elite, that have that exposure, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And even expanding it to say, you're already enrolled in college, but are you like a 5-star recruit that's in high school that wants to play and be a superstar for this league? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Are you open to something like that?
Yeah, I'm open to it. That's one of the things I'm very mindful of, because the moment that a high school player steps on the court in any capacity in our league, whether it's a trial or not, they lose their college eligibility. So they can't go back to college. So, you know, I try to steer clear from that. And if there was a player that wanted to do that, you know, you look at Overtime Elite, they're getting paid $100,000 a year coming out of college.
Some of them are making $650.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to come into our league, that's something we're trying to grow to, and once we get there,
Right.
then I would be more comfortable.
How about just cross-connecting games with them? You wanna stay
more
in front of
more
the
exhibition.
exhibition?
Yes.
So that'd be good exposure.
Yes,
right?
more
To be on a
exhibition.
national level.
Yeah,
I mean, they
that
got
would
their
be
own basketball cards and stuff.
Yeah,
They do.
It's pretty big. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yes. Yes, I'm open to that for sure. Yes, ma'am.
So I know why you picked the different, cities
Yes.
that you picked, but can you tell everybody else like your, you know, your mindset in picking the different cities?
Yeah, so I have the team that I own formerly was in Lima, Ohio, so I'm not sure if anybody from Lima, Ohio? All right, so I'm from Chicago, but I did some growing up in Lima, Ohio, is where my dad's family. And one of the things that touches my heart the most is when you have cities that there may be a certain poverty level, there may be a certain percentage of homelessness, the job market. You know, when you look at cities that, when you look on the news or you look up national statistics and they're at the bottom, worst cities in the country or anything like of that nature, if you look up some of these cities, they are there. And so my heart is touched there because my question goes out to myself is, why do they have to stay there? And so with sports and with basketball, if you guys are familiar in any way, sports has a way of rallying people together like nothing else does. And when people would come to my games on Sundays, all different colors, all different races, and they're not thinking about a race, they're not thinking about their problems or issues or anything like that. And so when you rally people around something such as sports, you see in different cities such as like a Fort Wayne, Indiana, or there's places where new teams and new developments have happened. All of a sudden, they start branching out into communities, and now there's different housing. Neighborhoods are being grown up, you know, where things are getting built, job opportunities, things of that nature. And so through sports, that's just my part to play in spearheading something that is not going to be just an entertainment or a basketball game that'll be over in 4 quarters, but now we can use that to go into the community and change lives and be in the school systems and offer job opportunities and things of that nature. And so when you go back over here to kind of hit more on what you were saying, look at the Danville, Illinois, top 5 places in the nation to live. Like, there's different statistics out there.
The worst place.
One of the worst places, Rockford, Illinois, they're named in some of those statistics. Battle Creek, Michigan, they're named in some of those statistics, but in visiting those cities as we did, there's so much potential. And so being in Lima and having a team there, the things that we were able to be a part of and help change, I've seen that happen through a sports team before, done with my own hands. And so that's why I'm very confident to be able to go into some of those places. We all know in Northwest Indiana, there is some of those places as well. So I want to address those things directly and help directly, you know, through having a sports team in some of those places.
Louis, you mentioned partnerships, and I'm interested to know what that might look like. Thinking about Hammond, I don't know if you're familiar with WJOB and how they're live streaming a lot of high school and college sports. I wonder if there's like a media partnership possibility with Gen TV as an example?
Yes, we were in a media meeting not too long ago, and they told us to reach out to them. So I'm still feeling my way in Northwest Indiana, and so those are one of the places, the entities that I would like to reach out to. As far as partnerships, of course, we're looking for like a monetary partnership, but there's also other types of partnerships that don't include the exchange of money, but you know, services, goods, or you know, we need this, you need this, we have that, let's exchange. So a lot of trade and bartering. I'm very familiar with that. Owning the team before, we traded about $50,000 a year in those 3 years of trade and bartering, you know, value.
So you're in the Midwest here, we have a huge population of either military veterans or National Guard, especially Hammond, Battle Creek, Rockford's huge in the National Guard. Indiana's got the 5th biggest National Guard in the country. So having that involvement in having a National Guard or Veterans Day, or having them do your flag detail, I think will bring a lot of exposure. I do Veterans Views on WJOB on every Friday, and we constantly promote things that are supportive of the military or the local National Guard or active duty. And so that, you know, again, using that media source, but connecting with that niche group, I think could bring a lot of exposure, especially in these, you know, like you said, the diversified areas that you have are very heavily vested in the military, so some consider.
That's good, I appreciate that, and I do wanna amp that up a lot. I love theme games, so we do like a military veterans day, you know, give them free tickets, things of that nature, honor them at halftime, things of that nature, so, but that's good, I didn't know that about Indiana, but now that I know,
Yeah.
go ahead
Yeah.
and push in on that, that's good.
That's very
Hammond
good.
has an armory.
Yeah. Yeah, and some of the armories even, you can do special events like in the Lawrence Armory in Indianapolis, it's huge, it's beautiful, it's completely remade. And for you to be able to fill that stadium and have an actual NBA or a pro game there, that'd be incredible. You
That's
know?
awesome.
And I'm sure collaborating with, I mean, we got connections, I'm in the National Guard myself, I'm an officer. Having connections through that could really put you on a huge trajectory.
Thanks for mentioning that, appreciate that, yes.
I know you talked about recruiting directly out of college, but I was sitting here thinking about my brother. He does like basketball skills training.
Yes.
And they're smaller kids, but he also works at a high school.
Yes.
He's one of the basketball coaches. And so a lot of high school kids like getting a footprint on them from high school through college.
Yes.
So I'll make that connection to you with my brother. He
Thank you.
does it out in Valpo.
Appreciate that, thank you so much. Any more questions? Comments, concerns?
Just wondering if there's already coaches and GMs for all the teams already?
So we'll be hiring those, I do have some people in mind, some are currently coaching, in different places, but yeah, we will be hiring those, yeah.
My good buddy said, coach.
We might need to talk.
How long is the season going to be?
The season will go from the last weekend in May through the first weekend in August. So you're looking at 20 games, 10 home, 10 away, so like the Hammond team will have 10 home games. Our footprint as well, you can get pretty much from where we are right now in about 2.5 hours to every city, and I did that on purpose because for us it cuts costs, not flying across the country. So bus league, but if fans want to travel, they can travel as well. So everything's kind of close.
So we should probably wrap up with a final question. There's a lot of community here. What can the 1 Million Cups community do for you, for your idea?
Yes, I'll start that out by saying I would love to connect because I would like to see what we can do for you, and in exchange, you know, we can begin to form that partnership. So any businesses, you know, even sports affiliated, if you have affiliations in that way, I would love to connect. If you're looking to get your brand out there as well, we'll be televising our games will be radio. There'll be a lot of marketing, national and local. There'll also be a lot of in-game opportunities for marketing as well. So if you're an established business, you're a startup, things of that nature, we do have a place for you in which we can help get your brand out there into a lot of, in front of a lot of eyes. And so we would love to be able to connect with you and see how we can partner together.
Excellent.
Great job.